What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you one of the glitchiest running plays in Madden 19, a play that a lot of people don't know about, a lot of people don't use, and it can really help you pick up some big yardage. So if this is your first time checking out one of my videos and you want to stay up to date on the best Madden 19 tips and gameplay all year long, consider hitting the subscribe button below and make sure to hit the bell icon so that you join the notification squad. Now, the play we're going to look at today is actually a pistol run play, and there are some really glitchy pistol run plays and have been for some years in the game. They go overlooked because a lot of people don't use pistol formations. So we're in the pistol tight slots. As far as I know, this is in the Bears playbook and in the Giants playbook. It may be in one or two others, but I know for sure it's in the Bears and the Giants. If you use custom playbooks, of course, you could put it in a custom. This formation used to be in the Texans last year, but for some reason they changed it and it's not in there this year, which is unfortunate. But we want to look at the counter Y, and I'm really not a big fan of counters for the most part. Most counters, the blocking just usually doesn't set up that great on most counters in the game these days, but this is one of those exceptions where you can really take this and cut it to the outside and get big yards. Sometimes you're going to want to cut it up the B gap. It just kind of depends on how it sets up. But you see like what happened right there, how we were able to cut it to the outside. That happens a good bit with this run, and it makes it, when you can break this to the outside, it's a pretty easy 5+ yards. Now the reason, and we got pulled down from behind there unfortunately, but the reason why is because on this counter a lot of times, that defensive end is going to actually get blocked, whereas with a lot of counter runs, that guy comes in free. But pretty much a lot of the times, like, he'll stand up to play the counter run, and I'm gonna just go to a replay here to show you really quickly. So this defensive end right here on the edge, I think it has something to do with it being a compressed set potentially, but a lot of times in counter runs, this guy, he will stand up, and you see what he's going to stand up right here, but because we're in a compressed set, that wide receiver a lot of times is going to be able to get a block on him. Number 18 is getting a block on him, whereas with a lot of counters, that guy just stands up and he waits for the counter to come, and that's what makes a lot of counter runs hard to run nowadays. But with this one, a lot of times, you see how he stood up there, but he still got, even still with that, he still got blocked. We'll go to the replay to show that one, because that's what normally happens on most counter runs. But on this one, even when he does stand up like he was able to here, he was able to actually stand up, because both of these guys, for some reason, 77 and 18, both just ran right past him, unfortunately, which is kind of frustrating. But you see how he's standing up, he's waiting for the running back, and with most counters, it's hard to kind of get around that guy when he does that. But you see we have two pulling blockers on this. We have a guard and we have our tight end pulling, and the guard picks him up, and then that allows us to get to the outside, and we picked up about 8 yards on the run. And that's what I'm saying, that is what is different about this counter. You see how he got blocked there yet again. That's what's different about this counter as opposed to most counters in the game. You usually can't get a good block on that guy on the end. You see there, he stood up again, but we were able to get hands on him just long enough to get to the outside. We'll check the replay one more time because it's happened 3 times, but it's happened differently each time. So you notice here, he again, both of these guys, 77 and 18, for some reason, they don't pick him up this time. He stands up. Our guard doesn't get a good block, but he stops him just enough. He puts hands on him just long enough for us to break to the outside, and that's why having some good speed and agility from your running back here is gonna make this key, because if you have a slower guy with, you know, not such great agility, it's gonna be a lot harder to cut this to the outside. But as you can see, almost every single time we've run this, we've gotten at least 5 yards, which if you're getting 5 yards a run, I see here we cut it up the middle just because the gap was just there. If the gap is there, you can take it up the middle as well. But you notice we've gotten at least 5 yards all but I think 2 times that we've run this, which for a run play, especially this year in this game we're running, is a lot harder. Getting 5 yards a run is very big. Anytime you can average 5 yards a carry, you're doing a great job. Really 4.5 yards a carry, you're doing a great job. But this year especially, because it's so hard to run. So you see here, we had a couple whiffed blocks. We had the defensive end and the, I guess that's a slot cornerback there, or is that a slot cornerback? I think so. They both came off the edge. So cutting it to the outside didn't make sense here, so we cut it up the middle. So, I mean, having some good, you know, ball carrier vision, not your player, but yourself, to be able to recognize those holes and know when you need to cut it a certain way definitely helps. But the majority of the time with this run, as you can see, you're going to be able to take this outside very easily for very, very consistent yardage. You see there again, that guy getting blocked. And of course, in the open field, use your jukes and use your spins because they still are effective. But you can see that outside defensive end literally is almost never a problem for you on this counter, whereas if you go run some other under center counters, especially in the game, you'll notice it's very hard to get around that DN because he usually does not get blocked too often, or he'll always have the outside edge, and it really forces you to have to cut it up the middle, and a lot of times it results in getting, not that many yards. So definitely try this out. I think it's probably the best counter run in the game. It's probably, it's one of the better runs in the game, one of the best pistol runs for sure. So check it out, see what it can do for you. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, just drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.